Hi everyone, I'm Miss Jean. Are you ready for another mini adventure in Discovery Mountain? Yes? Well, come on, let's go.
Hello, Mrs. Lewis's classroom. Oh, hello, Michelle. A fever? Oh, dear. Well, thanks for letting me know. I hope you feel better soon. Oh, no. I was counting on Michelle to help me in my classroom this morning so I can go to my dentist appointment. She was bringing supplies for crafts to do with the kids. Now what am I going to do?
Good morning, Mrs. Lewis.
Jake, am I glad to see you? I think you're an answer to a prayer I hadn't even prayed yet.
What prayer would that be?
Michelle promised to come in to do crafts with the students this morning because I have a dentist appointment.
That's great, Mrs. Lewis. Kids love making things, and Miss Michelle is very crafty. Wait, that did not come out right. I didn't mean Miss Michelle is sly or deceitful. She's not. In fact, she's one of the most truthful people I know. I just meant she's good at crafts. Oh, dear. I hope she doesn't find out I said she's crafty. Maybe I should call her and try to explain.
Jake, it's all right. I knew what you meant.
Oh, you did? Oh, that's good. Sometimes even I don't know what I mean.
Jake, you meant that Michelle was artistic and clever.
Yes, indeedy. That's exactly what I meant. Now, what did you mean when you said I was an answer to a prayer you hadn't even prayed yet?
Michelle just called to say that she had a bad cold and was running a fever.
Poor Miss Michelle. Maybe I should put on my chaplain hat and go see her. Hey, I'll bet that's what you were praying for someone to go visit her to make her feel better, right? Maybe I should take her some flowers or, some delicious peppermint tea.
Oh, Jake, I am sure Michelle would be happy to have you take her some peppermint tea, but that's not why I thought you were an answer to a prayer.
It isn't?
No, you see, I have a tooth that's really been bothering me, and I don't want to cancel my appointment for today.
No, I don't blame you. A toothache is miserable. You want to get that tooth checked out as soon as possible.
But I can't go if there is no one to watch my class.
No, you can't. Principal Reader, sir, would never approve of you leaving your students unattended.
Exactly. Which is where you come in. You don't have to teach Bible class till after lunch, do you?
That's right. I'm here early to work on my chapel program for tomorrow. I'm having a really hard time coming up with a good idea.
Jake, would you mind taking over my class while I'm at the dentist? It should only take an hour, so you'll still have plenty of time to work on your chapel program.
Of course, Mrs. Lewis. Jacob P. Donovan at your service.
Oh, thank you, Jake.
There's just one problem.
What's that?
I'm not very crafty.
That's no problem, Jake.
It isn't? But Miss Michelle was going to do some amazing crafts with those kids. Won't they be disappointed when they find out I'm no good with clay or paint or glitter or pipe cleaners?
No, Jake, the kids won't be disappointed at all.
Well, that's a relief.
The weather is quite mild today, so instead of doing any crafts, you can take the class outside for an extra long recess. Let them play some of their favorite games.
Games? Never fear, Mrs. Lewis. I am just the person you need. The gamer extraordinaire.
Oh, Jake. Sounds like the kids won't miss the crafts with Michelle at all.
Well, Mrs. Lewis was right. The kids were thrilled to play games outside with Chaplain Jake. Someone suggested hide and seek. First, Ian sat on the bench next to Jake and counted to 20 while kids scattered all over the playground looking for the best places to hide. When Ian found everyone, it was Abby's turn to be it. She hunted until she found every one of her classmates. And when it was Zoe's turn, she counted to 20. But when she opened her eyes, she didn't race off to try to find the other kids. For a moment, she just stood by the bench and looked around the playground. Then she took a few steps and looked around again. But she didn't seem to be making much of an effort to find her classmates. Jake tried to give her a few clues, but she said it was too hard to find anyone. Well, shortly thereafter, Jake saw Mrs. Lewis's car pull into the parking lot. So he blew his whistle to let the students know that it was time to head back to class.
All right, students, it's time to settle down and take out your math books. Jake, I can't thank you enough for watching my class. My tooth feels so much better. Of course, that could be because it's still a little numb from the medicine the dentist gave me.
Well, I'm glad you feel better, Mrs. Lewis. You can count on me anytime you have a toothache. Of course, I don't mean I hope you have another one. I just meant...
I know what you meant, Jake, and I really appreciate it. How did things go today?
Oh, they went great. We went out just like you said and played red light, green light, capture the flag, and hide and seek.
Sounds like they had fun.
They sure did. Well, except for Zoe.
Oh?
Yeah, she's only in first grade, so maybe she doesn't really get how to play hide and seek, but she barely even tried to find the other kids. I mean, she sort of looked around, but she certainly wasn't seeking anyone.
Reminds me how some people play hide and seek with God.
Huh? I don't get it. Are you saying God plays hide and seek?
Of course, Jake. It says so in the Bible.
It does?
Yes. Jeremiah 29:13 says, "You will seek me and find me when you seek me with all your heart." God promises we will always be able to find him if we really want to. Too many people just sort of half-heartedly look around and give up if it takes any real effort.
But we actually have to seek him, not just wander around expecting him to always be in plain sight, you know.
Exactly.
Mrs. Lewis, you're an answer to the prayer I hadn't even prayed yet.
I am?
Yeah. I was having trouble thinking of ideas for my chapel topic, but thanks to you, I have the perfect one. It's called Playing Hide and Seek with God. All you have to do is seek him wholeheartedly.
And if you do, he promises to let you find him.
The Bible is full of promises, and Jeremiah chapter 29 and verse 13, well, it's one of my favorites. This is a wonderful promise that says if we seek God, we will find him. God wants us to seek him and search for him the way that you might search for gold or hidden treasure. Now, Jesus told a story about looking for hidden treasure. It's found in Matthew chapter 13 and verses 44 and 45, and this is what it says. "The kingdom of heaven is like treasure hidden in a field, which someone found and hid. Then in his joy he goes and sells all that he has and buys that field. Again, the kingdom of heaven is like a merchant in search of fine pearls. On finding one pearl of great value, he went and sold all that he had and bought it." So Jesus is telling us that the most valuable thing in our life is our relationship with God. He's the greatest treasure we can ever possibly receive. Do you want a relationship with God? Well, then exercise your faith and seek God with all your heart. Ask him to help you make him your number one priority. And the good news is he promises if you really search, you will find him. I'm Miss Jean, and you've been listening to a mini adventure in Discovery Mountain, where the air is clear enough to hear your imagination, and where every day is an exercise in faith. Visit us at discoverymountain.com, where you can learn more about your favorite characters and listen to full episodes on demand. Game Day was written by Janice Nelson and inspired by a true story that happened at her school with her son.